What's up everyone, it's Scotty with MoneyVest. So today we are going to be talking about Snapchat. I haven't done a video on Snapchat in a very long time. I don't even remember the last time I talked about this company. So we're going to take a look at this business. We're going to go over the entire investor presentation, fundamentals, of course, technicals. We're going to go over the valuation, the margins, everything is going to be covered in this video. As always, if you enjoyed, find it helpful, make sure that you drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second. I would really appreciate that. Helps grow the channel. And definitely do check out the Discord and the Patreon links down below if you're interested in joining us. Of course, getting access to all the members only private videos, Excel spreadsheets, intrinsic values, our fair values, watch list, trading view charts, and of course, Discord channels including buy and sell alerts, options alerts, trade ideas. Everything's going to be included. I've opened up a few more spots with that 16% annual discount that's also available with the link down below. So, and also do connect with me on Instagram. So my handle is going to be CastWRP. Link's going to be down below for that as well. I do post a lot of portfolio updates, polls, strategies, videos, tips, all those behind the scenes stuff if you're interested in connecting with me over there as well. So Snapchat, as we know, is a technology company. I'm actually quite surprised. When I was doing my research on this business, I was shocked to understand and learn that Snapchat is still growing its daily active users and monthly active users. Because I remember I got started with Snapchat with maybe like 6 years ago or 8 years ago, when everybody was getting started, and now I basically don't even use it anymore. It's literally an app on my phone that I rarely go to. I basically go there every morning just to keep up with the streaks of my friends, but that's it. That's literally it. I don't use it as a communication tool at all, or I mean, it's just an app. That's it. And I barely spend time on this application every single day, but I'm kind of surprised that it's still going strong, not in terms of revenues, not in terms of earnings or profitability, but in terms of revenue and daily active users and monthly active users. So as we know that it's a technology company, we believe the camera presents the greatest opportunity to improve the way people live and communicate. So our flagship product, Snapchat, is a visual messaging application that enhances your relationships with friends, family, and the world. Visual messaging is a fast, fun way to communicate with friends and family using augmented reality, video, voice messaging, and creative tools. And snaps are deleted by default to mimic real-life conversations, so there's less pressure to look popular or perfect when creating and sending images on Snapchat as well. And these right here are the 5 core platforms that kind of create the Snapchat experience. We've got the maps, we got the chats, we got camera, stories, and spotlight as well. And of course, we're all aware of most likely the chat, the camera, and the stories. But Spotlight is basically something that you could subscribe to. There's actual content creators on Snapchat as well. There's a lot of businesses on Snapchat that you can subscribe to and that are on Spotlight. And Map is basically, if you've turned that on, you will know exactly where everybody is, your friends and your family, and what are they up to. I guess I've never really looked at the map section, but all these other ones definitely do seem interesting and have been for quite some time. Now, this right here is the performance of Snap stock relative to the benchmarks, which is NASDAQ and S&P. And as you'll notice that, of course, we've seen a significant amount of underperformance from Snapchat. However, recently, though, it's been on an absolute tear, going from 842, it's up a little bit over 100%. And year to date, the stock's up 84, 85% as well. Of course, it's gotten way too overbought. We'll come back to that during the technical analysis, but this right here is the overall chart for Snapchat. As you'll notice, we obviously did see a massive run up since 2018 all the way through 2021, a 1600% rally, only to see a drop back down over 91%. Lots of consolidation, years of consolidation between this range, and it's now finally starting to break out of that range back up to almost $16, $17. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Now, this right here are some of the key metrics for Snapchat, and again, I was shocked to learn that there was over 406 million daily active users, the people that actually use Snapchat on an everyday basis, 750 million monthly active users, and over 250 million DAUs engage with augmented reality every day on average, and over 300,000 Lens creators have used the Lens Studio. 75% are between 13 and 34 in over 25 countries, and over 5 million Snapchat Plus subscribers, which I believe is, I think it's a couple dollars a month or maybe more, where you can subscribe to Snapchat Plus as well, which of course is a significant amount of revenue for the company. And other ways is obviously advertising. Snapchat is at the end of the day an advertising company, very similar to Meta, very similar to Google, YouTube, and very similar to LinkedIn, very similar to WhatsApp, some of the other applications on social media that we use. Revenue in the third quarter up to 1.18, almost $1.2 billion, up 5% on a year-over-year basis. And of course, GAAP gross margins were $633 million for the company as well. And GAAP net income was a net loss for the company in the third quarter 2023, up negative $368 million. And adjusted EBITDA was about $40 million. So again, it's not a profitable company just yet because of the significant amount of R&D, SG&A, wages, salaries, everything that the company's spending money on. It's more than the actual revenue that's coming in. And as a result, on a GAAP basis, the company is still generating a net loss. So revenue has, again, 4x'd since 2018. So that's actually good to see. Very, very nice, consistent growth in revenues. Adjusted gross profit margins have also increased to 62%. So that's, again, phenomenal, as you would expect with a social media company. Average daily active users also to 375 million worldwide, and adjusted gross profit to over $2.8 billion for the company as well. So on the top line, on the surface level, everything's trending in the right direction. But when it comes to profitability and cash flows, it's been a little bit more inconsistent. And they mentioned balanced approach to investment driving path to profitability, but 5 years of consistent net losses. Adjusted EBITDA has also been pretty inconsistent. It has turned the corner in 2021, but once again declining in 2022. And free cash flow is also slightly positive in 2022, significantly down from 2021. And operating cash flow, also same story, has turned the corner towards profitability in terms of positive cash flows, but significantly down from 2021. So the lack of inconsistency and the lack of profitability is what makes Snapchat not the best, in my opinion, from an investment standpoint over the long term. Now, as they enter Q4, they anticipate continued growth in the global community. And as a result, our financial forecast for Q4 is built on the assumption that DAUs will reach 410 to 412 million. And they're expecting the revenue to be between $1.32 to $1.37 billion with a marginal growth of about 2 to 6% on a year-over-year basis. And within this range of revenue, we estimate the adjusted EBITDA will be between $65 to $105 million. So a very simple analysis, $105 million times, let's say 25 times EBITDA multiple. We're looking at a $2.6 billion market cap. And Snapchat right now trades at 10 times that number. Just goes to show how, in my opinion, at least in my perspective, how overvalued this company is at the moment, considering the lack of profitability and even on an adjusted EBITDA. Well, I guess there's one thing I forgot to mention. This is simply for fourth quarter. So even if we, let's say, analyze that number on the higher end of that range, let's say $400 million in adjusted EBITDA. So 400 times 25, we're looking at $10 billion. And still right now, Snapchat trades at 27.8. So almost 3 times more than a 25 times EBITDA multiple valuation for Snapchat. Now, this right here is going to be some of the other numbers. So based on daily active users, global DAUs, 375 million as of third quarter 2023. The average revenue per user, $5 per year. And total addressable market of $1.875 billion. Based on North America, of course, the average revenue per user is going to be much higher at $20 per user per year. And of course, the age demographics, as we already mentioned, over 75% are between 13 and 35 years old in over 25 different countries. Advertising market, the global mobile ad spending is $525 billion, and Snap's market share is only 1%. So this right here might be a good representation of how small the penetration currently is. For Snapchat, in the rest of the world, they've only penetrated 8%. At the moment, 2.75 billion smartphones and 211 million daily active users is definitely a very, very small slice of the overall pie. And they're basically approaching a path, or they have a path to 1 billion MAUs over the next 2 to 3 years is what their plan is. So 1 billion monthly active users is definitely a lot of people on the platform. And quite honestly, I have no idea how they're going to get there because, as I said, I don't use Snapchat all that much, but apparently there's a lot of people that are still using them every single day. When it comes to revenue, as we've already discussed, 58 million to over $4.5 billion, so almost 9x, 10x over the last 6 to 7 years. And gross profit also turned the corner towards $2.5 billion in gross profit. That's very good, but that's where the train stops. That's where the things stop. Selling, general, administrative expenses, R&D, and overall operating expenses, everything's been moving significantly to a point where we're seeing operating losses every single year. And that's obviously translating down to the bottom line. And net losses have also more than doubled from a few years ago to $1.3, $1.4 billion. And of course, diluted shares outstanding have also increased significantly from 732 million to now 1.6 billion shares outstanding. So it's more than doubled in the last 9 to 10 years as well. Now, balance sheet's also not the best. $3.6 billion of cash with a little bit over $4 billion of debt. So net debt sitting at 542 million, which is a positive number. And we've got current and quick ratio that is very, very good at over 4. But debt to free cash flow is also a little bit over 21. So we definitely do have a balance sheet which is okay. Short-term liquidity is good. Current ratio, quick ratio is good. But of course, long-term total cash to debt ratio is not the best. And debt to free cash flow also really high at over 21. We don't have a lot of valuation multiples because of the lack of profitability, but price to cash flow at over 100. Price to sales a little bit over 5. Enterprise value to EBITDA forward basis 258, and everything else the company doesn't have because of the lack of profitability. And again, no margins, little to no margins. Everything's mostly negative except for 56% gross margins that they have on a trailing 12-month basis. Now, they are expected to turn profitable again on a non-GAAP basis, 7 cents per share to 14 cents to 34 cents, all the way to $1.43. And you can see the forward price earnings multiple, which again is going to be incredibly high at over 226, all the way coming down to 11. But of course, right now, as I mentioned earlier, Snapchat definitely does seem like a very, very overextended, overbought stock, with the fundamentals also suggesting for massive amounts of overvaluation, in my opinion. This right here is where we are, 93 RSI. MACD's been flying right now. And of course, the stock has performed really well in the last couple months. Since October 26th, from $8, it has gone up over 91%. So no doubt, absolutely phenomenal gain. And the next resistance and target to watch for Snapchat is going to be sitting right there at $19. So this right here is going to be that next resistance to watch, because we have gotten rejected at that level a couple times. So if I basically mark out a range, not really a specific resistance, but a range within which I'd expect Snapchat to get rejected on, it's going to be between $19 and $20. As you can see that we have gone rejected here once, and then of course twice, and then of course we've got potentially 3 times over here. That's going to be the next level to watch. And Snapchat would, in my opinion, be a very nice potential short trade on the downside as we maybe start to come back down. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, because we have a very, very overextended RSI. So support level now is going to stay put at $13, $14. So this right here is going to be that potential support, or resistance now potentially starting to turn as a new support here for Snapchat. Next target is going to be $19. And I'm going to right now stay away from this company from a long-term investment standpoint. Obviously not looking at it from a long-term trade standpoint either. We'll most likely be looking at it from a short perspective, with $13 being the support and next resistance and target at $19. And in fact, if it does get up to $19, $20, the short trade idea will only get better for Snapchat over time. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Found it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below for Snapchat. And as always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.